What's up guys, Frank here from FFX Audio and welcome to this new video format where instead of just playing sound samples of the guitars that we make, we also talk about in depth a little bit. It has been brought to my attention that people like the simple no talking format, but they also wanted to get some more insights into the idea behind every instrument and some of the specifications, because sometimes it's just easier to push on the play button and have this all explained to you instead of reading through a long description, just as you would get the sort of experience going into a guitar store and then the guy on the shop floor talks to you about the instrument and afterwards you get to hear it, you get to play it. So we want to be as close as possible to that experience. And I thought it would be a good idea to start with one of the latest builds. This is the Sweetcaster Custom from Constantin Guitars. It's serial number 003. We make a distinction between Sweetcaster Custom and Classic once the instrument has sort of special aspects. In this case, this is considered a custom because it has a thin line body and the finish that comes with it. We also have another guitar for sale right now that is also considered a custom because it has a very specific Black One John Mayer style relic finish. But in the near future you will also see instruments that look more normal for that matter, and those are considered classic. This guitar is probably the lightest guitar in that format that I've built so far. So this comes in at just 3.15 kilos, which is pretty light for an instrument like that. And to all you guys out there complaining about issues with their back, this is your guitar, 100%. The body is made out of very dry and seasoned alder. It's very, very resonant, has a nitro finish. This is seafoam green over shell pink. On some images and in different sort of light situations, this might appear to be sonic blue, but it is seafoam green, 100%. The neck is not your typical vintage style 21 fret neck. The only thing sort of vintage about it is that the truss rod adjustment happens on this side. So this headstock section looks a lot cleaner, and it's actually more of a contemporary C profile. The fretboard radius is 12 inches and then it has 22 jumbo frets, which means the playability on this thing is just absolutely amazing. The string action is very low. It's a lot of fun to play this thing. The tuners are made by Goto. These are the classic vintage style Goto tuners. We have the vintage style Goto tremolo with a steel block, which definitely helps for with tone and sustain. And the other thing that we use that you might have not seen very often, if you've ever opened this part of the guitar, you've opened the cover and you looked at what's happening here, you might have seen something like this. So this is a pretty regular spring claw, definitely used in vintage style instruments or in vintage instruments. And we use a special spring claw from Apollo Parts out of Australia. And we do that for a couple of reasons. A, this thing is made out of brass and it has more mass to it, which definitely helps with sustain. That's one aspect. So I personally feel that sustain and tone are definitely improved with this spring claw. The other thing, even more important actually, once you've set this up the way you want it, you can fix all the different screws here completely in place so this thing doesn't move one bit. That definitely helps with tuning stability once you engage the tremolo. And where these things tend to move, especially if you make heavy usage of the tremolo, this thing doesn't. So that's the other aspect. Highly recommended. The other thing that we use for all our instruments, no matter if they have a tremolo system or not, are for the connection between body and neck, we use threaded inserts from Necktight. Necktight is a company out of Germany, and I'm going to explain to you what they do in just a second. So for any sort of bolt-on instrument, the connection between body and neck has been realized with these like regular wood screws. Has been done for ages. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is a chance that when you have to detach the body for adjustment and then you have to attach it again, or I've also seen people that detach the neck because they want to travel super compact and the guitar gets stuffed into like their hand luggage, and then they attach it again. And so whatever the reason is, if you have to repeatedly detach the neck, there is a chance, and there's no guarantee, but there is a chance that at some point the holes in the neck, they wear out. And the consequence of that is that A, you're not able to tighten the screws as much as you did before, and B, that's the worst case obviously, but I've seen those cases, is that the neck starts to move because the holes are super worn out. Why do we use Necktight? Very simple. So Necktight makes these inserts, these small inserts, and those are getting screwed into the neck, and they're threaded. So there's a thread inside, and then from the other side you actually just, screw this in, and this is not going to wear out because it's threaded, and you can really tighten neck and body, and nothing's going to happen. And you can detach and attach the neck like 1,000 times, and nothing's going to happen. The other aspect, and that's something that I can't prove scientifically, it's just something that I feel since I'm using Necktight. I also feel that there's an improvement in tone and sustain. But that's something that obviously I can't scientifically prove, so I'm just going to leave you with my subjective impression of it. Now on to the last part, the electronics of the guitar. I was kind of inspired when I saw this body. I was kind of inspired to do something themed around the Sob Rock album of John Mayer, which has this sort of like pink, bluish, greenish artwork to it. So the pickups, and we pretty much exclusively use pickups from Q Pickups out of Croatia. Those guys make amazing pickups, hand wound obviously, and this is a set that is a direct replica of the PRS Silver Sky single coil set. Pretty balanced, and like very funky, very glassy, but also very stable when you throw distortion or overdrive at it. And this is just the regular 5-way switch with the positions that you know from guitars like that. You have a master volume, you have a master tone, but there's the little sort of special thing around the second tone knob. It's actually not a tone knob, it's a blend knob. So that means whenever you are in the neck position or the bridge position, if you turn this down, you can blend in the opposite side. That means you'll get like these two pickups, meaning you get sort of a Telecaster kind of sound. And even better, if you're in one of the in-between positions, so position 2 and 4, you get all 3 pickups. So that means you actually get like 7 different sounds out of this guitar. You have the 5 regular sounds, and then you can blend some of the other options in there. And blending means you can also go halfway. So there's a lot of flavors that can be added. And yeah, I would say that pretty much sums it up. We do all of the labeling with a laser machine, so it doesn't fade away. Same thing for the headstock. This instrument, we are currently working on like being able to ship this instrument with a fitting gig bag. I'm going to have an update to that very shortly. And yeah. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. And let's move on with the sound samples.